Welcome back. This is a review for you, man. It's been a while. Welcome back. It has been a while. I think the last one I may have did was the Detroit movie. But I have seen movies since then. But, time got the best of me and keeps slipping away, you know what I'm saying? So I haven't really had a chance to do a movie review. And it's not that I haven't, like I said, it's not that I haven't seen any movies. It's the fact that I haven't seen anything. For one, this time. For two, it's nothing I really wanted to talk about. So, tis the season for Halloween and horror movies and whatnot. So I figured, why not go ahead and bring the review for you series back, well, movie review series back, with a horror movie. So, this past weekend, I took the time out to see Happy Death Day. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies because nowadays, they all are pretty, predictable. Like within the first 20 minutes, I can figure out what's going to happen or who done it and all that. It always happens. So I pretty much stray away from horror movies because it's not much in it for me, and plus I don't like to be I don't really rock with Halloween because I don't like the idea of paying people to scare me. It's cool with the costumes and whatnot, but going to see a movie just for the fact of I want to be scared, that just don't make sense to me in my mind. But anyway, Happy Death Day was produced by Blumhouse Productions. They did the Paranormal Activity series. They did Insidious, Sinister. They've done the Purge series. They did Get Out. So I'm expecting to see a quality horror flick. Like I said, even though I'm not the biggest fan, but I know those are definitely cult and fan favorites. So I took a chance and I'm going to see Happy Death Day. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't see any trailers ahead of time. That's pretty much how I like to go in movies nowadays. Even though when you go to the movies, you do see trailers. But some movies, I just like to go in without knowing anything and just let it go as is. And, set my expectations at a lower level, usually. So I checked the movie out, get my usual snacks that I get, and I'm comfortable. And, one thing I struggle with these reviews is trying not to tell the story. But if you got this far, I'm just letting you know now I'm going to spoil it. But if you're going to see it anyway, check it out anyway. But I am going to spoil it. So let's say that. Just get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. All right. So now it begins with a young woman named Tree, short for Teresa, which I've never heard that before. She's a college student. It's her birthday. And she wakes up in basically another college student's bed, another guy named Carter. She wakes up in his bed, don't remember what happened the night before, and she goes on about her day to the sorority sister's house, and she's living her day-to-day school life, and then next thing you know, there is a party going on that night, and she headed to the party by herself, dressed like party style, like a short skirt, and all that, for me, during the nighttime, I wouldn't want to be walking outside in the dark by myself as a woman. Shit, let alone as a man. I don't even want to be walking around in the dark, whatever. So she stumbles upon this music box. It's playing Happy Birthday out of nowhere. There's nobody else around. This is a music box on the ground, and next thing you know, someone pops up behind her with a baby mask. I'm not sure if it's the college's. The college that she's at, the mascot, they never really got into detail why that mask, but I did see them selling it. I don't know if it's for their football team or what. They didn't really say what the mask was, where it came from. But anyway, and they kill her. And what happens after she gets killed? She wakes right back up in the same position she was hours beforehand, waking up, not realizing what happened the night before, whose bed she's in, who's the strange guy in the room. Carter is I don't even say a nerdy kid, but he's one of the less popular ones who's kind of really shy and reserved. And Tree seems to be more outgoing. I guess more of a pretty girl on campus type of vibe. A typical movie when it's a college girl and guy or vice versa who's getting to know each other. And of course, by the end of the movie, they start messing around with each other. But before all that, so she's like, okay, that's crazy. It feels like I've lived this day all over again. So she goes back. She goes through her day. She goes to this time she sees the music box again, and she runs the other way before the killer can even pop up. She runs the other way, She shows up to the party. It's a surprise party, and she's messing around with a guy in a room, and the killer pops up, kills her. Boom! She wakes back up in the bed again, like, okay, this is crazy. I lived this already. What is going on? So she starts questioning the guy, Carter, and everything is happening where she's walking through campus, certain people looking at her, the certain frat they're pledging, and then a car horn start going off. She realized, like, yo, I'm living the same day over and over again. So what is going on? So after this happens a few times, without telling some of the other minor details, she's like, all right, what keeps happening for me to have to keep starting this day over? She comes to the realization, like, okay, this person that keeps killing me, I got to figure out who this is and get to them before they can get to me, so I don't have to live this day over again. So she, without telling who did it, it's definitely a twist. I will say it's a twist. It wasn't someone I expected in the movie that did it, but she figures out who may have done it, and she takes care of this person. It turns out it's not that person. Now, which is crazy, because I'm thinking, like, this is the height of the movie. Okay, she figured this out. Boom. So the next day, she wakes up in the same bed again with Carter, not telling her that she had a rough night beforehand, and then waking up doing the campus, doing the same things. And it goes on and on and on and on and on to the end where she finds out who the killer is, and the way that she kills this person is just so... Fam, the way she kills this person is like, okay, she kills the person, and like it's like no repercussions for it. It doesn't, the way that they were fighting, it doesn't show how, like if the police showed up, it was like, wouldn't be believable as if, like, okay, she was attacking me, I was defending myself. No, because the way she killed was just so extreme. It was like, all right, maybe like the way, if I was a police officer, I would have totally questioned the girl, but no, Tree went on about her business like nothing even happened. The girl died, and she went on about her business like nothing happened, and then that was the end of the movie. Now, it reminded me of the movie Groundhog's Day. I think it was Bill Murray back in the day. It was a horror version of Groundhog Day. Exactly what it was. But the thing is, it's so many flaws and holes in the movie, because they don't tell you, like, why she keeps reliving the day over and over again. Like is there something like some kind of spirit that's she's possessed, or like there's no reasoning as to why the day keeps happening over and over and over and over again. By the end of the movie, by the beginning of the movie, she's like a total asshole, like a super bougie, white girl, whatever. And then by the end, she's totally changed, because she's going through these days over and over again, trying to change these things, being nice to people and taking the time to talk and all this other stuff. So by the end, she's totally changed. And like I said, her and Carter get with each other by the end of the movie. Which is super predictable. That's not really ruining anything. That's super predictable. Now, like I said, the flaws is like, it doesn't say why that she's living these days over and over and over again. The first time you believe that the killer has been found, or you realize who it may be, they don't go into detail as of why he would be the one to be doing it. I'm not understanding why supposedly he would be searching for her and come after her. It don't tell why at all. Now she mentioned something about her mother passing away a few times in the movie. She doesn't say why or how. She just said it affects her because she died on her birthday. So every birthday she's reminded of her mother and whatnot. It definitely is so many flaws in the movie, and it's just I found myself like throwing my hands up, like, oh my God, this happened. Of course, the typical movies where she's running and all of a sudden she's tripping out of nowhere, boom, and the next thing you know, the killer is on top of her. It's typical horror movie stuff, and so many holes in the movie that it just made me frustrated while watching it. Now, the movie is only an hour and a half, like an hour and like 32 minutes or something like that, which is typical movie standard movie times, at least an hour and a half. But this is something I felt like could have been totally put on Netflix. I feel like it would have been even better if it was like a 10-part series. Like, you could have stretched this out a little bit more and got a little more detail as to what was going on, why these days she keep having to recycle these days over and over again, why someone would be coming after her. And the reason why when she figured out the killer, why she was trying to kill her was the dumbest excuse. Like, it was the dumbest reason the killer was coming after Tree. Like, it was the dumbest reason. Like, the writing was terrible. Now, when I think about all these things and how bad the movie may be, and the movie's taking place in one central location, like if you think about the movies that I named in the beginning, like Paranormal Activity, the movie takes place one location, in the house. Get Out, it takes place at one location, on the farm or in the house. The Purge, it takes place in the streets, but primarily it takes place in one location where like the people were trying to come after them. Primarily it takes place in one location. Now, I mentioned Blumhouse in the beginning because what they do is they create low-budget horror movies for very minimal cost, and then of course every horror movie just go ahead and just blows up. You put most of the money behind the marketing and promotion for it, make it seem like it's bigger than what it is, I guess, and then you recoup your money. Like, I looked at the production cost for Happy Death Day, and it was like maybe 4.6 million or something like that. 4.6 million. What they do by the end of Saturday, by Saturday afternoon, they were already at 25 million. Like, they made their money like 4 or 5 times over by like within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, the movie had already made 5 times the amount that it was made for. So that's what they do. And you can look at the production cost of it. I don't know if it's the cameras, the lighting, or what, but it feels low budget. There are a lot of movies that's low budget, especially if you look on Netflix. Most of those movies are definitely produced at a low budget cost, but they look so much better than this movie did. The lead character Tree, she wasn't really believable to me. Like, I instantly knew she wasn't college age. Like, I instantly knew. Like, they try to do her hair a certain way, and her makeup is done a certain way. She's a small, frail, little tight little body, whatever. But she may be built like a underage girl, but she's not really. And while I'm watching the movie, I keep looking at her like, yo, there's no way she's like senior year in college type of girl. So I look up her name, and I was right. The girl's 30 plus years old. She's over 30 years old. So you have a 30 plus year old playing a 21, 22 year old. I can totally tell that this wasn't, and it wasn't believable at all. Like, most of the girls in this movie are definitely way over the age. I don't know if they just didn't want to take a chance on younger actors, or they just trying to find some more experience, but they weren't believable whatsoever. Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, none of these girls look the age. None of them. And truth be told, none of them were. But it's a movie where, if it was on Netflix, it probably would have been so much better. I'm like, damn, that was a great movie for Netflix. There's a lot of gems on there. There's a lot of gems on Netflix. You never look at the ratings, especially horror movies. Me and, over the years, found a ton of horror movie gems that the ratings are always bad on, but they always had me kind of shook. But I'm easily shook during horror movies anyway. So, the acting was pretty decent. If I had to compare it to something, it felt like a Lifetime movie. It felt as if the actors knew, like, it felt as if the actors were trying too hard in the movie. They were definitely trying too hard. With the sorority leader, I'm not sure what she's called, but she's like the one, I guess the leader holding the meetings and all that. She reminded me of like a character from Clueless, like just super ditzy, like very know-it-all type of thing, and like the other girls would just follow behind her. It just felt very cheap, very fake. I'm watching it and I didn't look at my time at all during the time. I knew it was a short movie, and it felt short. It felt like there were scenes that were missing from the movie. I don't know if there's going to be a director's cut when it dropped, but this movie, it just left more to be desired. I just was hoping to see something really good because I saw a few reviews online because I saw it Friday night. I saw it Friday night. No, I saw it Saturday night. So the movie had been out a couple days. So I saw a few reviews on Twitter saying it was good. And I'm like, yes, all right, bet. I'm going to come back and review for you with a horror movie that's going to be pretty good. But with all that said, the grade I'd have to put on the movie would be, I put it a solid 5. because it is what it is. There were a few moments where people were jumping or had a light scream or whatever, but for the most part, it wasn't a horror movie. It was suspense. It was suspenseful. It was something that I honestly am only gonna probably watch one time, and maybe if I'm in the middle of the night editing, it's just on mute, and I just needed something on TV while I'm working. I'll probably do that, but it's a 5. It's not something I'm gonna be rushing to see again. It's not that great. The acting is just okay. The cinematography is just, it's not mediocre, but it's just average at best. The storyline has so many holes in it. Like I said, the killer's reasoning for trying to kill Tree was just stupid. Like, it left so much more to be desired, man. Like, I give it a 5 because it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't good at all either. It's just pretty much in the middle. It's pretty much just the gray area. It's not bad, like I said, it's not good either. But if there you have any other questions or any other movie reviews you want me to do, I do have a list of movies, older movies that I'm gonna start reviewing as well. And I'll probably do Marshall pretty soon as well too. I saw that. I saw Marshall as well, and that didn't really do it for me either. But that's the review for you. Happy Death Day. There's already talk of part 2 already in production, which I really hope it's not the same people. And I really hope they go into detail as to why this girl had to keep living the day over and over again, because it just started from the beginning and never gave an explanation why. Never gave an explanation why. When that was really what threw me off through the whole thing. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for checking it out. Leave some comments, man. Let me know what you think. If I was stuttering and stumbling, did I seem well informed? I don't know. Let me know something. I'm trying to get something from out of you guys. So, in the meantime, y'all stay blessed, create responsibly.